Trial 1726, codename Warhead. So far, the subject has taken our tests well. Signs of extreme durability are apparent, both internally and externally. Tissues are immune to high thermal exposure. At times, the skin will reflexively absorb heat energy and repel it as a defense mechanism. Limitations do not end with thermal-sensitive receptors. Subject exhibits chemical and electrical immunity as well. Systematic analysis of our full scope yields subjective results, studies revealing that the subject's emotions affect response time and reliability. These immeasurable variables may stunt our research.
Her heavy Polish accent was like knives to my ears. Bright lights in a whitewashed room looked like hazy starbursts burning inside my eyes. There were too many to count. It made this induced wooziness worse. My eyes darted to the camera standing on the right of the surgical table that I was strapped down to. I took a hard, rattled breath, barely registering the silhouettes of my company. One woman in a low red bun, and two tall men in bleach white coats, all of them covered from head to toe. I had special names for them. The head bitch in charge, the hunched ass-kissing yes man, and the stocky, nasally nose breather with a blood fetish. They had gas masks, visors, and a wheeled side table with their routine instruments of torture. It was about to get messy, and I wasn't ready for another round of reconditioning. My sole purpose here being a guinea pig to their inhumane experiments. I knew they were trying to break me, both inside and out. I'd lost track of the years I'd been trapped in this nightmare, enduring all of the traumatic, mind-splitting trials with no foreseeable end. Her hunched lackey geared me up. The next stage after they'd injected me with something to weaken my powers. The gear looked like an upgraded torture mask with webs of wire coming out of the forehead plate, with the other end of those wires hooked in a biological machine. The inside of the mask had circuits running through it, prepared to register responses and signals on the monitor panel. Once it was strapped on, I felt the true biomechanical hallmarks of this mask stretch around my face. Its 8 appendages wrapped tightly around my head on its own. I started to panic. My body shaking, my chest tight, and my blood firing. I gasped shallow, quiet breaths, while I looked at the head scientist bug-eyed, her attention glued to the monitor connected to those wires as the stocky lab rat fixed a chainsaw in his grip. My body wouldn't wait for what came next. Immediately, I felt my core heat up, my heart rate skyrocketing. This response came on its own. I had no control over it. Yet, I encouraged it, knowing the aftermath would set me free and put these fuckers in their place. But on cue, the wench pushed the brakes on me.
Please, the injection.
The psycho ordered her puppet, a syringe from the metal prep table already loaded with a red liquid to shut me down. I was screaming behind my mask, my maddening, muffled cries provoking them. Every time my chest started to heat up and glow, that bitch jabbed a needle in my arm to tame the nuke, my body shutting down immediately from the exposure. It was like a match in a hurricane. The fight in me gone before it ever began.
Introduction to our serum, Keto Evo 3, continues to inhibit the subject's most devastating ability, nuclear detonation,
she said, breathing out a nervous sigh of relief.
Definite triggers remain inconclusive. Catalyst evolves throughout the bloodstream, branches through the extremities before the reaction compresses inside the subject's chest cavity. Safety precautions are still in effect if the subject refuses to stabilize. Use of special engineered nerve agents will contain the reaction.
She paused, briefly, recomposing herself after she cleared her throat.
Now that the subject has been neutralized, we will continue the reconditioning process.